Adoption is an incredibly sensitive, an incredibly personal topic. As a 30-year-old adopted person, it took me decades of my life to figure out how I felt about adoption, how I feel about adoption, and to be able to get to the point where I felt comfortable talking about adoption in public. Not just on YouTube, but even to family and friends. Adoption is a difficult thing to talk about in a society where kids who grow up, regardless of whether or not they're adopted, hear the punchline, you're adopted, your parents don't love you, all the time. It's complicated, it's sensitive, it's deeply personal, and it's something that, quite frankly, a lot of adopted people, if not most adopted people, don't want to talk about. And so today, I think we need to talk about someone who trivializes adoption, maybe more so than anyone else on the internet. We are going to be talking about Not Enough Nelsons, a YouTube channel run by the family vlogger known as Tiffany Nelson. Now, before we watch this video, which by the way has 8.5 million views and has been redone many times, new adoption life update, why did I adopt 9 kids, how do we become a family of 18, birth and adoption stories, our life-changing adoption stories. I mean, this is a person who has made dozens and dozens of videos about adoption stories and revealing the pre-adoption names of all, it's either 7 or 9 children she adopts. I think there's 16 kids in her house. About half of them are adopted, about half of them are not adopted, which by itself is an insane thing to be saying out loud. I mean, how many people can genuinely give their unconditional attention, support, love, affection to 16 children? It should genuinely not be legal to adopt that many children. I don't know how she was able to do it. You see these thumbnails and it's just everything is trivialized. I changed my name, question mark, emotional with hearts. I changed my name, question mark. What was her name before adoption? I mean, she has literally made this exact video for every single adopted child in the family. Of course, none of these exist for the biological children. And at this point of her YouTube career, Tiffany Nelson will literally make an annual video where she sits down every single adopted child and just recreates this video, just answering the question of what are these children's names before adoption every single year. And look, again, this is incredibly sensitive stuff. I mean, these are videos of children revealing their full government names prior to being adopted. As much as I think these children deserve the privacy to not have this personal information prostituted out to legions of internet fans of this Tiffany Nelson lady, it's already too late. There's 8.5 million views on this video, 1 million views, 6 million views, 500,000 views, 6 million views, 8 million views, 1 million views. At this point, it's fair to say that literally millions and millions of people have this information. They have the full government names of these children prior to adoption, which is a scary thought. The cat is out of the bag. There's nothing I can do to prevent these children's information from being exposed to millions of people. It already has been. I'm making this video because I believe these children are victims. Whether or not they were asked to share this information, whether or not they said, I'm okay with making this video for the internet once or twice or 3 times or more. At the end of the day, most of these kids still are not even 18 years old. So for this information to just be out there on the internet is disgusting. And I think the only way to actually push back on this type of behavior is to bring public awareness to the fact that it's even happening in the first place. Because you watch these videos and you read the comments and people think that it's cute or silly or funny or interesting, and like, no, that's not what this is. This is exploitation. This is child exploitation in the purest sense of the term. So with that, let's watch What Were Our Names Before Adoption.
Hey guys, welcome to the Nelson home. For those of
That is a mansion. Can we talk about that for a second? This is insane. What a castle. And I think it's important to point out that anytime I have spoken about this family in the past, one of the top responses to any criticism I give or I point out or whatever is, well, these kids live in a castle. They're lucky. And I get it. This is a massive house. There are cars. There are bikes, electric bikes maybe. I mean, this is a compound. But important to keep in mind, there are many people that live on compounds that are not happy to live on a compound. I'm not saying that these children are happy to be here or not happy to be here, but you can't just assume that because someone lives in a mansion that they're happy. I mean, look at how many of the world's richest people are clearly miserable. Money is not the end-all be-all in life, and that's especially true for children. I mean, money gives you some things, but it doesn't, for example, give you a childhood where you're not one of 16 children crammed into the same home. I mean, this is a huge home, but it doesn't give you individual attention at the end of the day. If you're watching this video, there's a good chance you're one of what, like 1 to 3 children maybe growing up in the same house, you might have had the undivided attention of 1, if not 2 parents. Imagine now being raised, and yeah, being raised in this mansion, but in a family where you're one of 16 children competing for the attention of 2 people. Like, it's not like this just makes your life perfect by any means. But whatever, nice mansion, let's move on.
Those of you who don't know, we have 16 kids.
That's too many.
9 of them are adopted.
That's too many.
9.
9 adopted kids? It should not be legal to adopt 9 kids. I don't care who they are or where they come from. That is too many kids. You cannot give these kids the attention they need, the attention they deserve when your mind is scattered between 16 different kids. And we're actually going to see examples in this video of exactly what I'm talking about. And by the way, does the internet need to know these kids are adopted? Why is it that Tiffany Nelson is telling her fans, her followers, that these children are adopted? The answer is no, of course. It's actually the opposite. Like, a lot of adopted people want to be able to blend in. A lot of us don't want everyone to know we're adopted. But here's someone who's telling the internet, well, these kids are literal children. Hey guys, these kids are adopted. Everyone at school is going to know. All the parents at school are going to know. The teachers are going to know. There's something to be said about being able to navigate the world without everyone knowing you're adopted. But these kids do not get that permission.
We are going to ask them some of your questions, and we are going to reveal their names before they were adopted.
No one needs to know this. No one needs to know what my name was before I was adopted. I share so much of my life, my experience as an adopted person. I feel zero inclination to share my name prior to adoption until I'm ready to share that piece of information. Do you really think that like a 4th grader, a 6th grader, a high schooler has the means of thinking, you know what? Yeah, I'm comfortable with millions of random strangers knowing that piece of information about me. None of these kids are able to give their informed consent to this. Even just this, our first adopted, it's so trivializing. Like, we can't just refer to these kids as children. It's like, this is our first adopted, the first of our collection. Like, they're treating these kids like objects. Okay, I'm skipping this. Are we doing these weird, like, corny little TV show intros for every single kid? That's gonna take a lot of time out of this video. Okay, cool. At least I get to skip a lot of this stuff. Okay, sit down in the chair. Here we go.
Before he was adopted.
Just right away. What was your name before your... Did she even ask any other question? He sits down. I'm the skateboarder with the beanie.
A lot of people have asked, like, what was Bridger's name?
That's the first thing she asked. Okay, now that I sat you down, what was your name before you were adopted? Like, can you tell us your credit card number and social security information as well? I mean, like, this is literally information that is more sensitive than that type of information. And she's just like, yeah, hand it over to my fans. Our fans want to know, guys, all right?
He was adopted. So,
Yeah, I'm bound to ask.
share the
Oh, she's gonna do these stupid little like TV show cameo clips too. Okay, I don't want to watch that, but ignore it, I guess. I can't really stop it from happening.
name.
Share the big ol' name. Do I want to though? It doesn't sound like he wants to. Like, he's literally, the first thing he says is, do I want to? Maybe that's a sign, Tiffany. Maybe you should kind of read up on body language, on posture, on, you know, maybe even just listen to the words these kids say. I don't think he wants to share this.
So, your name before you were adopted was?
Kuzovkin Vladimir Alexandrovich.
Celebration, yay! Now the whole world knows. Look, I don't need to get into every single reason why sharing these names is a bad idea. Maybe the family is dangerous. Maybe there are a bunch of stalker fans who watch these videos who are gonna try to find this guy's family. Maybe his family is interested in reunion or isn't interested in reunion and sees this video and the video sabotages a possible reunion or makes them try to reach out to him if he's not comfortable being reached out to. There are so many reasons why this is just a horrible idea. I mean, this kid literally cannot give informed consent to this because he doesn't know the impact. I don't think there's any examples of any other YouTubers doing this stuff. And yeah, like, I mean, I can't imagine trying to find my dad after so many years and showing up at his doorstep and him having watched a video of me sharing my, you know, government name, my government issued information on a YouTube video that I had no interest in making just because the person who adopted me was interested in making that video. What if that family member that I was interested in finding was interested in finding me and then all of a sudden sees this video and thinks, oh, this guy is just trivializing my existence, or this guy is sharing my public information with millions of random people? Like, that's not safe for me. I can't try to reunite with my own child. There's just so much wrong with this. I don't really need to go any further, but yeah, I mean, it makes me so furious that she's doing this.
So,
It's a hard name to pronounce.
Even just this little gif right here too. Like, I mean, come on, really?
So-
Let's watch that again. It's like, wow. Like, what does it even mean? Are you trying to trivialize the fact that he has a Russian name? Are you making fun of him? Like, what is the point of this GIF? I honestly don't understand, because it's not like a celebratory GIF. It's not like a, wow, that's a great name. It's like a judgmental eyes looking like, wow, that was your name? I don't get it. I don't know who edited the video. Maybe someone else did, but just like, you don't need to put these little snippets in the video. Someone's gonna watch these videos back and have feelings about it. I don't like it.
Growing up, most people called me Vladimir. They do add a syllable to it, so realistically it would be Volva Kuzovkin Alexandrovich.
That's a mouthful.
What? Dude, like, are we doing this for every single time one of these kids shares their name? Is it just becomes a punchline? A stupid little video clip and a laughing effect in the background? And look at her face, like, she doesn't even care. She's just having him share this stuff. She's not even paying attention. She's not listening. She's just thinking about the next kid she's gonna interview about this stuff.
Just to clarify things, because I noticed some of the comments were like, why did we change the kid's name, right?
Yeah, why?
Question. My parents took me on a special date to go out. They brought it to me, right? They didn't force it. They didn't say, hey, your name's gonna be Bridger and you have to deal with it. They gave that option to me to decide, and I thought it was perfect.
They didn't let this kid choose his name. They take him out to a restaurant and say, hey, we want to make your name this name. We want your name to be Bridger. Do you want your name to be Bridger? That kind of feels like a loaded action, right? You could have said, hey, are you okay with us changing your name? If we're gonna change your name, do you want to pick your name? That's not what they did. They serve him his name on a platter and say, you're happy eating this, right? That's not the same thing as giving a child a choice. His name was Vladimir. He remembers a time where his name was Vladimir, and yet he's having to justify having his name changed on his behalf and almost rationalizing it like it was his choice. He wasn't the one that asked them. They told him, hey, we want to change your name. And he was like, I guess, yeah, that's okay. And look, maybe he thinks it's perfect. Maybe he's happy with his name. I'm not here to say he's lying in this video, but I think it's a little bit disingenuous. No, a lot disingenuous to pretend like this kid had a choice. And you'll see in these videos, she says these kids decided to change their names. We were looking at thumbnails earlier that said things like, I changed my name, not my adoptive mother brought me a name and said, are you cool with this name? Because I'm gonna change it to that if you're cool with it. That's not the same thing as a child having agency and being able to change and choose their own name. Here we go again, our second adopted. Just so weird. And the spelling too, man. I mean, look, I don't want to criticize these kids. Okay, this is so weird. Why are you making these kids do this? This is so uncomfortable. But like journey with what? The spelling of journey here is preposterous. Does she do this with every single child in the family? The random capital letter in the middle of the name and the misspelling. I mean, imagine trying to spell your name to people and being like, oh, sorry, it's not EY, it's a double E at the end. And the name Journey too, man, we're gonna get into this.
We are here with Journey. Journey, I have a couple questions for you, and then the question that everybody is wondering.
Is it a question that everyone is wondering? Because she makes this video every year. She's been making this video constantly. This has been posted, what? This is a year ago. This is not the first time she's made this video. So this is a total lie to say everyone has this question. These names are already public at this point. She's just introducing it this way because she wants to be able to make more money off of the exact same video.
What was your name before adoption?
Kukleva Lyudmila Valentinova.
Wow. Kukleva Lyudmila Valentinova. And there you go.
I appreciate it.
And what
What is that effect? I mean, what is the point of saying? I mean, I think it really shows so much that like she doesn't really know how to respond to this. Do we clap? Do we say these things? No, we're just sharing very intimate details about these children and just putting random funny little GIFs or videos or whatever at the end, and that's the reaction, that's the response. Like, the reason these videos are popular is because you're sharing such intimate information about these children, and who wouldn't want to know if they're a super fan of these people, I guess? But like, she's not sharing these names to honor them or to say these names are so amazing. No, she doesn't like the names. She changed the names. She doesn't like any of these names. Otherwise, she would have kept them, right? There's no agency in any of this. It's just prostituting out information to the internet that really the internet doesn't need to have.
we decided to name you Journey because we had to take a great journey over to get you. And
does she hear what she's saying? We named you Journey because we took a long flight to go and buy you in Russia. That's why your name is Journey. It's like naming your kid American Airlines. We took a long flight to go and get you from Russia, so we named you American Airlines. I will say this, I want these kids to do with their lives what they want to do with their lives, but if what they want to do with their lives is changing their names back, I hope they do. I know plenty of Russian adopted people who have changed their name backs and reclaimed their original names, even if their name isn't some like whatever, socially acceptable, easy to pronounce American name. It's not like these kids' names are being spelled correctly anyways at this point. Getting that Utah mommy vlogger name thrown at you and being stuck with that for your entire life, like I would not blame any of these kids if they decide to change their names back.
We took a journey to find our angel.
Exactly. There you go.
Do you love your name?
I do.
Yeah.
Very much.
Who would say no on camera to that, by the way? Like if anyone watching this video was being interviewed by their parents for a YouTube video that was gonna be shown to millions of people on the internet, how many of us would be like, you know what? No, I don't like that name. Like no one is gonna say that. You look like a jerk if you're like, yeah, mom, I don't like the name you gave me. People are gonna call you a spoiled brat, even if you have a horrible name. Oh my gosh, I gotta skip. Oh my, what is this? Lily? Dude, pick a good, if you're gonna change these kids' names, give them a good name. Is that really too much to ask for? How many times do you think this kid's name has been spelled wrong? I'm putting the over under at 1,000 and I am hammering the over. There is no way people know how to spell this kid's name.
Second question, yeah, do you have anybody in the scopes for the whole marrying thing? Like, do you have a boyfriend?
So
How old is she?
I think some guys.
Is she 18? Like, I feel like this is not something we should be talking about to millions of people.
What is
Oh
your
my
full name
gosh.
Lily and Nelson.
Lily
And she
Ann
gives them
Nelson.
normal
And
middle
fun
names
fact
too. What a
is,
curse.
My name was Lily and Nelson.
She thought it was Lily and Nelson.
How old were you when you finally found out it was
Interesting.
Ann?
In
and
fifth
not
grade.
And.
When my teacher had to talk with my parents. He was like very concerned about it. He was like, so is her name Lily or Nelson? Because on her paper she puts Lily and Nelson.
Lily and Nelson.
And you're like, oh, her middle
I have
name's Ann. I'm like, oh.
That's hilarious. I never knew that.
Well, we learn something every day.
Right.
Of course she doesn't know. I mean, there's 16 kids in that house. You think she remembers? That's like a canon event. That is something that like 99% of parents would remember. It is deeply personal. It's about her name. It is funny. It's like something that happened literally with this mother, right? She goes into the classroom and has this conversation with a teacher. It is literally something that has to do with Tiffany, and Tiffany doesn't remember it. And by the way, it's not like 5th grade was ages ago. I mean, I don't think this kid is 18. Maybe she is if she's talking about getting married and stuff, but like, I don't know. I feel like that's something you should remember about a child you're raising. Kind of sad that she doesn't.
What was your name when you were a baby? Your first given name?
Lily Ann Walker.
Yes. So we did not change your name.
Just the spelling.
So you did change the name. I mean, it's a lie, right? You didn't like Lily the way it was. Lily the way it was wasn't good enough. You had to change the spelling. You had to change the spelling to like the Utah Mormon mommy vlogger mom spelling too. Like Lily is a perfectly normal, perfectly good enough name. Why change it to the capital L-E-E in the middle of the name? Oh my gosh, this is driving me insane. And it just brings up so many thoughts that I would have if I was growing up in this family. Like, why was my name changed, but my sister's name wasn't changed? Just the spelling of her name was changed. Like, her name was good enough, but mine wasn't. If I was this Lily girl, like, would I feel guilty that my name wasn't changed and the other kids' names were changed? Like, I don't know. Maybe that's something these kids aren't thinking about, but I think as they get older, these are things that will very likely cross their mind. And it's just so weird and uncomfortable. Again, the internet shouldn't even have access to this. I also think it's fair to say that unless there's a very, very, very good reason to change a human being's name, we shouldn't just be changing their names like they're pets or, you know, something you buy at a Build-A-Bear workshop. But whatever, maybe that's just a topic for a different video. I just can't stand Tiffany. Let's just keep watching and it's gonna make me more furious, I guess. Number 4, we're still going. Oh my gosh.
Think I've been here before.
I can't handle this. I'm skipping. I'm
The
not doing
boy
this.
that you were with in the video.
Thank you for bringing
Is
this up.
he your friend, your boyfriend? What?
Why does the internet need to know this? She is a child. You are making videos for millions of people. Do these grown adult men who might be watching your videos need to know the relationship status of this child?
So on that same note, do you have a boyfriend?
I'm listening.
What?
I don't
Dude, what are we doing?
boys, but
What is this? I can't handle this.
I don't even know these things. Sometimes I feel like
Yeah, you don't. You're a grown woman raising 16 different people. Of course you don't know.
So, the question everyone's waiting for. Sadie,
Are people really waiting for this question? Like, you've made this video a million times. Who is waiting at this point?
what's your full name right now?
Sadie, Faith.
Sadie, like this? At least she's one of one, right? There is a 0% chance anyone else on earth has their name spelled this way. Like, she's got to be a one of one. I don't know. Maybe she's happy being a one of one, but like, dude, this would be so annoying to go to school and have your name spelled like this.
Now the audience wants to know. Our cute subscribers out there want to know, what was your name before you were adopted?
My name was Kennedy Walker.
Kennedy Walker.
Pretty normal name.
And at the time, we already had a Kennedy in our family.
Awkward.
Yeah.
How is that awkward? Am I missing something? Like, I don't think people realize if you look around much of the world, and even in American history, it was not unusual for siblings and parents to have the same name. There's juniors in the same family. One of the fun facts of a baseball player that my wife and I have always kind of remembered is that there's a baseball player named Wilmer Flores, and it's like, this is one Wilmer Flores, this is the other Wilmer Flores. The fun fact was that every single person in the Wilmer Flores family, like the dad, the brothers, the cousins, they're all named Wilmer Flores. And look, I get it, different culture, different people, but when you have a child entering your home and that child has a name they came with, and you're saying, nah, I can't do that, I'm gonna change your name because I already have one of you, like, that is just such a demeaning thing. How does she not see this? Imagine being the sister who has the name and watches her younger sister get her name changed because, sorry, we can't have two of you. There's got to be a different name here.
And you know,
I can't do
this
this.
would be too hard. Kennedy!
It wouldn't be too hard.
Yeah.
How many families have two people with the same name? How many juniors exist in the United States? Thousands. Look at her face. She doesn't even look happy to be here. It's so obvious. I don't know how fans of these channels don't realize these kids don't want to be doing this. Our fifth adopted. Oh my gosh. Skip. Wow, Luke. Wait, why does he have a normal name? All the other kids don't have a normal name. Is this the first boy? Does she give the boys normal? No, the other kid's name was like Bridge. I mean, it's not a great name. But Lucas, why do the girls have the weird uppercase and spelling thing and the boys have like normally spelled names?
All right, and your first biological name was...
Peyton.
Peyton!
Shout out to this dude. This dude's a real one. He kept some of that information for himself. He did not tell the internet what his family's last name is. And props to him. People don't need to know. I can't imagine what the conversations were like behind closed doors before she recorded all of these videos as many times as she's recorded them. But if this kid kept his last name private, do you really think he wanted the internet to know his first name too? That's the issue you run into with these vlogger families, because the second one kid says no, that gives all of the other kids permission to say no. So they don't get permission. Like, I can't say that for sure. I don't know exactly what these conversations look like or what Tiffany is saying, but I just do not buy for a single second that any of these kids have a choice. You might be able to get away with not telling the world your last name, but you are going to tell your first name to our millions of fans. There is nothing you can do to stop that. Number 6. Too many. Skip. Okay, she's the sporty one, we can tell.
What is your favorite sport?
Yep, she's the sporty
And
one.
how
Cool.
awesome you are.
I don't
at
care.
sports.
Let's hear the name. Come on, that's all I care about.
Next question. Do you have a boyfriend? What is all this?
Why is she asking this question? And only to the girls. She didn't ask the boys if they have a girlfriend. She's only asking the underage girls, do you have a boyfriend? Why are we doing this, Tiffany?
No, I only like a kid.
She's only 12. She kind of like...
She's 12? Dude, you don't have to ask the question. You cannot ask the question, Tiffany. Acting like, oh, our fans are asking. You don't have to ask the question. No one needs to have this information at their disposal.
Final question. What is your full name now?
Delaney June Nelson.
This might be the most insane name I've seen so far. How, dude, this is like a 0.0001 out of 0.0001. No one will ever spell their name this way ever again in the history of mankind. What do I say to this? What do I say to this name? And the middle names are always normal too, right? Like, why not just give them normal names? You gave them normal middle names. Why not give them normal first names, Tiffany? And look, you really want to know, I will tell you why I think that she does this. It's because adopted children are seen as objects. They're not humans, they're entities whose names can be changed. She's not treating them like humans, she's treating them like she's playing Build-A-Bear Workshop, where she gets to decide the name of this child who already has a name, who already has a family, who already has a story. Nah, we're gonna change it, and I want to change it to a name that fits into my little perception of what these names should look like. Funny also that Tiffany doesn't have one of these insanely spelled weird capital letter names. Like, if you're gonna make these kids live through this, Tiffany, maybe you should change your name to T-I capital F, you know, something weird. Like, make your name this. But again, she won't, because adopted children are perpetually seen as objects. To acknowledge our humanity means that you don't change our names, because we already exist. We already have families and histories and names. Like, why change us? Changing these details about who we are communicates to us, whether consciously or subconsciously, that something about us needs to be different. We don't belong unless we assimilate, unless we have this silly Utah mommy vlogger name on our driver's license, on our birth certificate, on our school paper. Like, this is who we have to become to belong.
Delaney June. And do you remember where June comes from?
It makes me furious, to be honest. Oh, and it's a family name too. I mean, obviously not the way that she spells it, right? Great grandma is not going to spell her name Delaney like this, right? No, we had to change great grandma's spelling to this, because great grandma Delaney would not have wanted her name to be used. We instead have to use this mommy vlogger Utah Mormon name or whatever. Like, we can't just give her a normal name. We gotta name her after Grandma Delaney, but not actually after Grandma Delaney, because we're gonna butcher the spelling.
Remember where June comes from?
Great grandma?
Great grandma.
And that makes me furious too. I guess it's
Her
June
name
that comes
was
from great grandma,
Donna.
so maybe she shouldn't change
And so
Delaney in that way. But like, these are family names. You're replacing a name that connects this child to who she is and where she comes from, her family, right? Her mother gave her her name. Her mother gave her her middle name. And she is changing these names to give them new family names, to say, no, you belong to this family now. You can't belong to both. You got to pick one or the other. That's how adoption works. And it sucks, because when you're an adopted person, you grow up and you have two families that you see as families. Maybe one more than the other, maybe both the same, maybe you don't see one as family, but it doesn't give you a choice, right? This is your family now. You're part of this family, not this family. The connection you have to the family you came from is legally severed. You are no longer legally connected to that family. And on top of that legal severance, we're also going to take that name away so that you don't belong in that sense either.
Family was actually both Sadie's biological given name and Lily's mix of both of their names. But where we ended up changing Sadie's name, it just didn't make sense. So we came up with a new beautiful name.
Wait, so she had a name that connected her to her sisters, that represented family to her, and she changed it. It just makes me so angry. Like, these kids, I don't know, maybe they're happy with the weird names they've been given. And I'm not saying weird names to insult them or diminish, you know, however they feel about who they are. But like, these are people who had names that connected them to family, and she's just taking that away from them. It just makes me so sad. I mean, these are kids who had connections to their family through their names. And those connections are just being destroyed by the legal falsification of their records. You know, for people who don't know, when you're adopted, you have a birth certificate, and that birth certificate gets sealed in court. It goes behind lock and key in the court, and the adopted person is reissued a new birth certificate that says that the people who adopted this person are the people who physically gave birth to us. In most US states, adopted people don't have unconditional access to our own birth records. So this kid right here might not even be able to access her own birth certificate that has her original name on it, information about her family that she might want someday. This whole legal process of adoption only serves adopters. It doesn't serve adopted people. We don't even get access to our own documents. I mean, this process is basically Build-A-Bear Workshop for human beings. And look, some adopted people will say they're okay with that, or they're happy with that. That's fine for them. But ultimately, I feel like if you care about human beings, if you care about the rights of humans, human beings should have the dignity of being able to have choices about what their names are and whether or not these irrevocable life-altering decisions are being made on their behalf. I know it's hard. A lot of this adoption stuff happens when children are children, but I just think it's past time we look at the process and decide, is it really fair to give the adults the ability to just change anything about these children that they want to change? Because you never know if someday, or even now, these kids have big feelings about this stuff.
A new beautiful name for this new beautiful girl when she was 2. Awesome. Good job.
She doesn't even look happy right here. None of these kids look happy, man.
Number 7, Elsie. Oh my gosh.
So, do you have a boyfriend? Of course not. She's 10 people. She's a
Dude, why are we asking these questions to them? She's acting like her fans are asking me this question, so I have to put it in the video. You're not asking the boys. You're only asking the girls. And look, there's 12,000 comments on this video. It's not like she's going through every single comment and picking them out. No, she's choosing which questions she's asking. And she's asking a 12-year-old, do you have a boyfriend? Why?
Who does this benefit? These kids don't need to answer these questions for your millions of fans, many of whom are adults and many of whom are adult men. It is just so gross.
I have like a million friends.
She has a million friends. All of you guys out there. All right.
These are not her friends. I am not her friend. I'm just a random stranger watching this video.
My name before I was adopted was Kelly Jean Walker.
How is this 12-year-old? She says she's 12. No, wait, is she younger than 12? She's what, 6th grade?
Do you really think this kid can consent to this type of information being shared with millions of people? Like, again, these are people who can Google this, who can try to use this information to try to find her family for whatever their reasons. And she's just sitting here with this face like, oh yeah, this is totally fine because you know what? It's making me rich. I got 8 million views on this video. I'm making monies off of this. It's gross.
What was your name before?
We're doing it with this kid? This kid is tiny.
Night.
Have not.
And I see, look, I've made videos about this family before, and I've had so many people comment, well, his name was Tough Night. His name should have been changed. And I'm not here to dispute the merits of changing this one kid's name. But if you're gonna argue that his name should have been changed, why share his name before it was changed? If the name needed to be changed, it was a silly name, whatever you wanna say, he would have gotten bullied if his name was Tough Night or whatever. Why share with her millions of fans the name that supposedly she changed to prevent him from getting bullied? Because now everyone knows that was his name.
I can't do this anymore. Number 9, Navy. All right, finally the last one. Oh my gosh, this is so uncomfortable. They did this for every single kid, by the way. I'm not showing these in the video. This is just like, it looks like a dating profile for these kids, which is maybe why she's asking about boyfriends.
Also, why is she last? Wasn't it in age order?
Subscribers have asked. Are you ready? I'm gonna go out the gate hard. They are asking,
I don't know,
do
maybe.
you have a boyfriend?
Dude, come on. Why are we asking? Do you ask anything other than whether or not they have boyfriends? And again, I think that's 9 for 9 on only the girls getting asked about significant others. Every single one of them got asked, but none of the boys got asked. That is so bizarre to me. Why is she doing that? All right, let's just finish this. Come on, I gotta get, this has gotta end.
Navy Grace Nelson.
Another one of one name, by the way. I mean, Navy. This is like a phonics name. I should have said that earlier. It's a pretty good joke.
These are phonics names, man. This is like sound out the name and spell it the way you sound it out. I mean, nay is the first syllable, V is the second syllable, so you capitalize each syllable and spell out each syllable. This is insane. I think that's actually what she did. She just learned phonics and was like, I'm gonna name my kids after phonics. This is horrible, by the way. There's literally like 2 different audio tracks going in the background, and every time a joke is being made, you have that stupid laughing sound effect. I hate the editing of these videos. I don't like you, Tiffany.
What was your name before you were adopted? Do I say like the full? The full name.
Look at her eyes just light up when she says that too. She's getting off on this.
Unique.
She doesn't want to say it. She's laughing. She literally doesn't want to say her name, and she's saying it. I feel bad for these kids. I don't think any of them want to be doing that. I mean, no one should want to do this. Any adopted person should not want to share with millions of people what their family's names are. It is just so, there's so many reasons not to do this. It's a bad idea if you want to find your family. It's a bad idea if you don't want to find your family. It's a bad idea if you don't want strangers trying to find your family. What is the benefit also, by the way, but beyond just Tiffany making money off of this? Because you know these kids aren't getting paid their fair share either. Like, this is Tiffany's job. These kids are in school. You really think I mean, they're making crazy money off of this. She's buying the house with the money. Buying a nice house is not paying these kids. I get it. They might be spoiled. They might have some toys and treats and whatever, but like, these kids are not being paid a wage off of these videos. Look, I would love to see Tiffany prove me wrong. Show me the receipts of these children being paid like they're workers, because they're actually prostituting out their life stories, their most vulnerable life information, so that Tiffany can sit back and laugh as she cashes checks on this 8 million view video.
Yeah, but we used to call her baby girl because we got her when she was only 2 months, and
oh, that's so gross. I don't think people realize this. This is what she's doing. She's not gonna say it,
but this is what she's doing. Let me explain. This is a child unique in foster care, and Tiffany doesn't like the name unique. So what is she gonna do about it? Well, the goal of unique in foster care is to be reunited with family, because that is the goal of foster care. Whether you think it's fair or unfair, whether you like it or you don't like it, the goal of foster care until parental rights are terminated is to reunite these children with their families. That's the point of foster care. Foster care is giving families respite while they get their act together so they can get their kids back and they can all be a family again. Tiffany doesn't like that. She wants to adopt this girl, and you know that because she refuses to call this girl by her name. Imagine you're a parent. Imagine you have a child in the foster system. I know that's hard for people to imagine, but most people whose kids are in the system do not want their kids in the system. It just happens. So you have a kid in the system, whether you think it's fair or unfair, and the family with whom that child ends up refuses to call your child by your child's name. It is so disrespectful, and there's a reason why they do this. They don't want Navy to remember her name was unique. They don't want to acknowledge her name as unique because they want this child to end up with them forever. They want to adopt. They are disrespecting this child and this child's family by just ignoring the fact that this child belongs to someone else, is a member of a different family, and they're gonna pretend like this child doesn't have a name so that they get to name her when she's eventually adopted. And we know how the story goes. Tiffany ends up adopting Navy, and she gets to pick out her name and pretend that her name was never unique, except in the circumstances where it's nice to make a couple bucks off of, revealing that name to the public. But it's really just the ultimate sign of disrespect, because you have a child who belongs to another family, a family whose child needs Tiffany to care for her because Tiffany signed up to be a foster carer. And rather than respecting this child, her name, her family, she calls her baby girl because she doesn't want Navy to ever remember a time that she was called unique. That to me is really maybe the most unforgivable part of this whole video. And I see it all the time in foster care, if I'm being honest. I watch a lot of these videos of influencers fostering children, and so many of them with the child, they don't do it when these kids are 10, right? They only do it when they're infants, because the influencers fostering these infants want to pretend like they're blank slates. They want to pretend like they gave birth to these children themselves. They don't want these children to remember their lives, their histories. They want these children to be as if born to these influencers. It's gross. And the fact that someone with as many fans, as much influence as Tiffany Nelson is really maybe the most public-facing voice on adoption on YouTube is just so sad. It's sad for these kids, and really it's sad for generations of adopted people to come, because people who are interested in adoption are now taking their example from someone who is doing things the exact wrong way. I don't know how to end this video. It's just infuriating to me that Tiffany Nelson has the platform and the influence she has. I don't really care about like the whole cancellation or snarking or things like that. It's just like the fact that this is where people are getting their information about adoption is from influencers who see nothing wrong with just prostituting out the most vulnerable information, the most private details of a child's identity. It is so wrong. It is so unconscionable, and I will never forgive her for this, even if her fans do. If this is one of the first times you're watching my videos, my name is Connor. I go by Adopted Connor on the internet, and I talk about adoption because as an adopted person, I think it's important people really understand the real life implications of adoption. What is it like to be adopted? What do adopted people have to say? What do adopted people think about adoption? Because because we can't continue on treating this process as if it's just this like Build-A-Bear workshop for people who want to adopt children. These kids are human beings, and they might have feelings about this now, they might not have feelings about this now. I guarantee you at least some of them are gonna have feelings about this stuff one day. And I think a lot of them are gonna have regrets about the fact that this information was put out there on the internet for millions of people to indulge. If you like what I'm doing, you wanna support my work, I have a Patreon. Contribute if you want, don't contribute if you don't want. I appreciate all the support though from my patrons. To the people contributing to my Patreon, your support makes it possible for me to do what I do, so I thank you so much. Thanks for watching this video. I don't know how to end it. I'll see you in the next one.